after Iowa, John Edwards declared it was a two-person race and basically tried to excise Hillary Clinton from the equation and said that there were two agents of change, himself and Obama. Terry McAuliffe just returned the favor and excised John Edwards from the race, in his opinion. We've also, let's stop and take the moment here as we are projecting now that Hillary Clinton has in fact won or will win. Projection here, they will win the New Hampshire primary after every indicator beforehand suggested this could not happen. It will happen. We have now two results so far in this primary season, the Iowa caucuses and the New Hampshire primary, and I think it is befitting to, as two students of American history, and particularly American political history, I think it's fitting if we note that we have two results here. The first one won by an African American, and the second by a woman in a country that as late as 1920 did not permit women to vote, and as late as 1860 in this country still had slavery, or later, depending on where you were.
Well, the other big story, perhaps it's a mini story, but Hillary Clinton has done something Bill Clinton wasn't able to do: win the New Hampshire primary. He must feel a bit like William Bendix. What a revolting development. But the fact that she not only exceeded expectations, she won when everybody thought she'd lose. She won the primary that he lost, and lost by 8 points, rather substantially. She now moves on, perhaps, to these other states, to Michigan, to, we'll see how that culinary union actually does go in its endorsement tomorrow now, because there was lots of talk and reporting that they may go with Obama, but it looks like she's got the shot of getting that endorsement now.
Well, speaking of going with Obama and talking about etiquette and who's saying what when, if it's following to form, that is Barack Obama going to his headquarters and likely to tell us that he is, in fact, the second-place finisher tonight. I can't imagine he's going to say anything else. The projections have not been uniform. The projections have not been uniform. The Associated Press has projected this race, as has NBC News, and that, to my knowledge, has been it to this point. But apparently Senator Obama will come up and confirm what we've been telling you for the last 10 or 15 minutes, that this is Hillary Clinton's race after Obama performed so well in the Iowa caucuses and was expected perhaps to do better in the New Hampshire primary. The result has been exactly opposite of what we've been expecting. That, of course, is South Nashua High School in New Hampshire, and that is Senator Obama making his way slowly to the stage.
You know, he shares something with John Kerry, who spent Election Day in 2004, all day in General Election Day in November, believing that he had won the presidency based upon the exit polls of all the networks, only to find himself losing the election basically because of Ohio and obviously the deficiency in the overall popular vote. But here's a man who spent a good part of the last 3 days believing he was headed towards a big victory, perhaps what do you call it, a shutout victory that would have actually been enough shock and awe to knock Hillary back on her heels. Instead, he now faces defeat and the need to explain it to his people. This is a real test of politics. Can you stand on that stage and explain unexpected defeat? So tough.
And to deal with a reality that the exit polling was showing to us earlier, that 38% of those who voted today in New Hampshire decided in the last 3 days where to go. We will now see what the senator has to say in this context. And also, again, we refer back to that number. The exit polling here suggesting that women went for Hillary Clinton, 47% to 34%. After having gone for Obama in Iowa, 35% to 30%. But even the expectation gradient here, all those numbers going into the Iowa caucuses suggested that Obama was going to win or do extremely well in the Iowa caucuses. That's not what we've been dealing with here. Every range of political opinion survey, every model, every statistical survey that we have basically suggested that this outcome was not going to happen. Even the internal polling at Clinton headquarters suggested this was not going to happen. And this, of course, begs the question, do we even bother to try to figure out what's going to happen next?
Well, you have to ask whether people who are being polled on the telephone or whatever are giving honest answers.
Or honest, not honest,
even that, no, seriously.
Well, not necessarily honest, but even just whether or not they know their own answer. Here's the senator.